do you have a lot of competition in what you do? Like, are recruiters really well known or well established as you are? Are you competing with people in the Western PA area often?
Again, I got to circle back that, we're nationwide, so where we're located isn't really an issue.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in our specific niche, we know, most of the
There's players.
Legitimate, competition. But it's a huge industry. I mean, I don't even know the current numbers anymore, but it's probably got to be at least a $10 billion industry.
My goodness.
There's
a slice for everybody.
Yeah, right. And most people that are in the business have done something to establish a niche. Some people. There are several recruiters that only work in the greater Pittsburgh area.
Okay.
They work on a much wider range of types of jobs, but their whole network is just around Pittsburgh, and most of them will tend to work on a little bit lower level jobs. Mm-hmm. So how much we get paid is based on how much the candidates get paid. So, if you're working on a position that pays $300,000 a year, the fee is, 3 times that of a position that pays $100,000 a year. Mm-hmm. So it's just it's a whole different setup, at the level we work, the whole process takes longer. There's more involved to getting where you get. But I guess to try and specifically answer your question, a lot of people come and go in this business. Mm-hmm. There's a very low barrier to entry. And if you are established in a particular industry, like a lot of guys that are executives in the food industry mm-hmm. will become a recruiter because they've got a network.
Interesting, yeah.
But they don't really know how to do our job. They just know some people.
Sure.
As soon as they exhaust their network, then they're done. So you might be around for a year or two.
Like you were saying too, you have to be a salesman, a psychologist, a people person. You have to wear all these hats to be able to be successful in this.
Long term, yeah, absolutely.
That's interesting.
So a lot of people come and go. And especially in the last, 15 years or more with the explosion of all the technology and, ways to communicate and everything, mm-hmm. It's becoming more and more of a cottage industry. It used to be there were a few really big players that everybody knew mm-hmm. That did all of the high level executive stuff. It's not so much like that anymore. Mm. But then a lot of these people, they've got a computer and a telephone on a desk at their house, and they're kind of living from placement to placement. Mm-hmm. And when times get tough, they disappear.
Right.
That's the other piece of it. I mean, there's been a couple times. We thought this year was going to be one of them because of COVID, but actually it's has not affected the food industry terribly.
Really?
There were some headlines, because of some of the meat packing plants that had significant outbreaks of the COVID.
Sure.
But that was because they were in a perfect environment,
Right.
Cold, damp, a lot of people in close proximity. It was almost a given that they would have outbreaks.
Sure.
But in terms of the industry, I mean, one of the reasons that we chose the niche we did is that people got to eat.
People got to eat, man.
Right. So things change as the economy changes. And even now, there's much more emphasis on natural products, mm-hmm. and young people are much more concerned about, how was that cow raised, and,
sure.
What did it eat, and, what was its name? And, it's like, they want to know about their food.
Right.